everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Always Open. We are so glad you've joined us once again. This week, we are in LA once again, and we have two very special guests with us. Let me see if I can get this right. They host a podcast called The Cream Team Dream Stream in the Airstream. Well, I mean, you got it. Is that it?
That's fine.
We got Kassem G and Fiona Nova with us.
Thank you, Barbara.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks
Welcome
for having
back.
us. So great to be here. It's so great to meet you in person, finally.
I know.
Yeah.
I've been calling you Dunkelman for years.
He's heard a lot about you because I talk about you a lot.
Yeah, you do.
really?
You do
Of
talk
course.
about her a
Good
lot.
things? Or
Of course.
Thank you.
All the time.
Mostly.
Okay.
Well,
whatever.
Fiona talks about you all the time.
I do.
And I
She's
think he talks
obsessed
about
with
you
me.
all the time, Fiona.
Never. As soon as I stop seeing her, she got out of my mind.
Yeah,
I don't think about her until she sends a stupid text.
It's object permanence. He only cares when I'm around.
Yeah, it's that.
Right.
Well, I was telling Kassem this before you got here, Fiona, and I'm sorry to do this to you, but I actually was a big fan of Kassem when I was growing up.
Oh, dude. Guess who's
so
a
when
legend?
did you see? So when
Guess
when
who's
you
a legend?
when you saw him, did you believe what you saw?
Yeah, I was like, that's the guy.
You see that?
He loves
I'm
doing
a
this.
somebody to people.
He loves doing this because he's because I've never I didn't know.
She takes pride. She takes
I
pride
don't
in not knowing who I am.
That's not true.
You do. You and Ovely are the same
No,
way.
I
You're
just
like,
didn't know. I
who
just
the hell
didn't
is this
know.
young-
Is it because you don't want him to, like...
She doesn't want to make me feel good.
No,
Make him happy?
I talk about you. I'm like, yo, you know, he's like a legend on YouTube.
She thinks
Yeah.
I have a big ego, and she's just trying to keep me in check. And if you think I have a big ego now, this is me at my best, by the way.
Here's what
Wow.
I've got to say. Here's what I got to say. Would you have been friends with me if I was a fan?
If you were a fan?
Like, if you met me and I was like, oh my God, I'm like a huge fan of
No.
your stuff.
Does that mean since I was a fan, you can't be friends with me?
No, you're great because...
Because I don't like you anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
There
wait a
was
second.
a
What
period.
happened?
What do you mean what happened?
You don't make California on anymore.
No, well, can we start over?
What do you mean what happened? You started RPing in GTA.
Don't tell people that.
What do you mean?
I'm trying to be
Is
cool.
that real?
Yes.
See?
I
She
haven't
already
seen
thinks
him-
I'm a dork.
I haven't seen him for
Stop
weeks. I don't hear from him. I don't
call you all the time. I left you a voicemail on the way here. I call her. It goes straight. It goes, this number doesn't accept
after
you
Do you have a
anymore.
voicemail from
This
him?
I
number
do have a
judges you.
voicemail from him, but he just
Yeah, play
called.
the voicemail. Is
Okay,
it?
But he just
keep
called.
in mind that I was in traffic.
Couldn't even hear that.
Keep in mind I was in traffic. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Oh,
wait.
wow.
You fucking biggest freaking pig on the phone. I call you. Will you? I'm fucking like it. I fucking dare you. You fucking.
Okay. I think that could be
Right.
taken out of context.
Right. So this was 20 minutes ago.
That was 20 minutes ago.
Yeah. You seem calm and collected now.
I'm cool now.
Yeah.
I had a chance to chill out. Everyone's very nice. I got a drink.
We got
two drinks.
We're
Yeah.
doing a podcast together.
Yeah.
On
yeah.
Always Open. I'm really happy you guys can make
Thank
the
you.
time.
It's
I was
so
shocked.
great to be here.
I was shocked that you asked us to be on this podcast.
Yeah.
How many does she do?
This is the one I host.
This is the one you host, but I was just shocked that it was like this one. Then you were like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna bring Cass and Fee." here."
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I think, first of all, I want you guys to also talk about your podcast.
Yeah.
Give a little plug for our audience because
Okay.
it's done in an Airstream,
Good.
which is enough of a selling point.
Okay.
But also,
Right. That's our only. Did he just say okay? Like as
All
if he's
right.
confused.
his voice was wavering
Dude,
in a weird
it's
way.
so weird. It's so weird. Why does he do that?
Okay.
Yes, he's never been in a pod. You're making her cry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go
I
ahead.
rarely cry from laughter.
I know.
Oh my God. But
love that.
tell me about your podcast.
I looked at her. She had tears in her eyes. Well, we do a podcast because we were let go. And we sank a multi-million-dollar company.
did,
And we
and-
decided that we're like, what do we
What
do?
do we
We
do?
panicked. We're like, where's
Yeah.
the money gonna come
Right,
from? And then
right.
we're like, well, let's fucking, let's do a pod.
Yeah,
quick.
yeah, quick. I mean,
We did it
Immediately.
instantly. We did it
the
on
next
Twitter
day-
Spaces.
Yeah, the next day.
That's how bad it was.
Well, we pulled in all the viewers from that, right? All 80 of them.
Yeah.
And we decided
Quite a bit nowadays.
mine. We're like, this is ours now.
Yeah, and now we have a nice little community called the Cream Team, and we have a
Creamies.
Our
Discord.
creamies, our creamies.
Our
yes.
creamies
What about
and
cream pies? Is that like another?
grow up.
I would.
His
His eyebrows go so
Grow up, Barbara.
dude.
I'm gonna need like
yeah.
a tissue or something at some point.
Okay. Yeah, so
Right.
there's a little bit of a sexual connotation to the.
There never was. There
Cream pie
never
is
was.
a dessert.
you go to us when you want to dry up. We are the.
Oh, I mean,
You do not.
dry up.
Oh.
There's no.
Like
That's the noise it makes. Like if the baby powder was on it, it does a little.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like a cloud of dust.
Just open up the podcast and be nice and dry.
Yeah.
Suck up all the moisture in that room. Well,
Yeah,
what do you
no,
guys
we
talk
do
about?
it. Well, we do it. Listen, we
am
don't
listening.
have. Okay, are you ready? We do this pod once a week in my backyard because we can't afford to do it anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. In
Oh.
fact, the lovely folks here at Rooster Teeth, like
they know what my dear.
they're trying to help us out.
They're
and
really helping
They're
us
like,
out.
oh my god,
They
these
were like
poor.
They were like, Fiona, we have to do her a favor. Like she worked here once. Like
Yeah.
we have to.
Yeah.
We have to.
We used
help
to pay her to drink on camera.
Right, we have to help
Yeah.
her out here.
and so yeah, we're
so
trying.
now we're under the roost.
We're under the Roost.
Oh,
We're an
wow.
official Roost podcast. Some are saying they're the number one podcast on the Roost. I don't have the numbers to back that up, but I think they're calling us
because
like
there's no numbers.
There probably is a one in there.
the number.
Well, no,
Yeah.
because we still have to. We have to upload it to the.
What?
Anyways.
Oh, you haven't uploaded it yet.
Well,
Well,
But have you streamed
since
it?
when?
we've streamed. It's on YouTube. We do a video version, but we need to actually distribute it on audio, which we will be doing. Actually, when does this come out?
This comes out like the first week of August.
So it's been out. So we have
It's been
audio
out.
distribution.
Yeah,
now.
it's on my YouTube, and people see an upload for me, and they go, "Oh, maybe he did some of the good stuff," and then they go and they see our pod, and they go, "Like,
What
get
the-
back to doing
What? Yeah.
What is this?"
Do they write that your channel is dying every chance they get?
No, they know it's
Probably.
dead.
No, they're still-
Well, it's been dead.
They go, "Oh, I
Yeah.
thought you died." I get a lot of that. I thought you died.
My favorite thing to one of my favorite
Watch
things
where you're pointing
was
at
sorry.
things.
One of my favorite things was I think it was last year. Again, I don't really know too much of what he does, but he went viral on TikTok all of a sudden. Didn't tag him. Like there was nothing to
He went viral on whose channel?
just someone reposted his old video.
Somebody takes my old stuff.
and then
And
just
like edit it down to
right,
TikTok and
yeah, and then posted it. And I mean, not even a tag. For Cass.
And I'm on TikTok, but what I do is I spread misinformation.
Yeah, he's been spreading.
About our government leaders and
Yeah, I don't know if you remember, but
I
do you
did
remember
see
when
the deep fake voice
of
that you
President
did.
Biden?
Yup.
The voice. That's
Yep.
him.
That was
that
you.
was him.
So you, just for anyone who hasn't seen this, you edited a clip using AI for
nope, it was 100% real.
No, he used AI.
AI voice
Okay.
of Joe Biden talking
Maybe.
about how like a bunch of people were idiots or something, like
Yeah.
at a press conference.
Well,
or
it was a
something.
hot mic moment.
It was a
hot mic moment.
Right.
Yeah, and then they the right wing conservative crowd took it and ran with it. They're like, "Your president's lying to you. Here's the proof."
But they cut out the part when he said, "I could eat a whole cow."
yeah,
man.
it's Joe Biden stepping off the podium,
Which makes it seem more real.
you hear the mic like
Rustling.
rustle, and then it's him going, "You think they bought any of that shit?" And then he's like, "You guys hungry? I'm so hungry I could eat a cow,
Gonna
man."
get a whole cow, man.
Let's
Let's get out of here.
And that was Jay Baruchel since I
Right.
was doing.
Yeah.
They're
That
so
was-
hungry I could eat a cow, man.
Yeah.
so good.
But it was so. But this was so funny because he posted, and again, like I ignored what he was actually doing up until the point where he calls me and he's like, "I think I fucked up."
Yeah.
I think
He's
you
like,
did.
I think I
Yeah.
made a mistake, and he sends me the TikTok of like some Israeli
Some
some
leader.
Israeli leader.
Isn't it like wasn't it on the news?
Yeah, like it was. I said. Well,
Newsmax. So is that
right.
news?
I
The
don't
maximum
know.
amount of news.
It's
I just thought it
Max
was so
News.
funny because it was like, yeah, this is a problem.
Yeah, I don't know. Right now everyone thinks that I died, and because I haven't posted in 3 months, and they
Right.
think because I made a video like where I was clearly reading from a script and being like pushed by the government to make an apology video.
Oh, right. That's one of his TikToks. Oh, then the other one where you said fake states.
And is anyone else worried that he hasn't uploaded in 3 months?
Yeah, someone.
We're gonna title this episode "Kassem G is alive."
Yeah.
Right,
Or am I
right.
somebody? Or am I my brother?
Do you have a brother?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Older, younger?
Younger, 6 years. Do you?
I have 2 brothers, one older, one younger.
You're sandwiched, huh?
Yeah.
Jeez.
You
That
have
must have
one
did a
brother.
number on you
I have
mentally.
one brother. Well, one full brother.
She doesn't count her white brother, her half
Well,
white
I
brother
did
as
so-
a real brother
I
because
did-
she's
well,
kind of a racist.
No, I never said that. I count him when I need to.
What for? What?
Like on like a medical statement?
like to
or-
get in
Well,
places to
well,
college.
Yeah, all those parties that are
Yeah.
exclusive
It's
to
just
two
like,
siblings.
if you were to put me and him in the room, you'd be like, these guys are not related, even though we are half
I
related.
like all your brothers.
You,
so.
and like you did a movie with your
My younger
your
brother.
younger
Yeah,
brother?
yeah. He's like
He's
like
the coolest.
He's the coolest.
Yeah.
I like him a
You
lot.
guys are very similar,
Yeah.
I've heard.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's get into some questions that
Right.
we have for the show.
Can
the
we do the
podcast.
pod, please?
Right.
We are doing the pod.
Okay.
I think this has been a lovely first couple minutes.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Sorry, that's,
already made me
that's
cry.
Just the thing, yeah. He does that.
All right, and if this question is too personal, we could do a different question.
There's
Okay.
never
because it's all edited.
Pass.
Here's the question.
I pre-pass.
right.
Is it ever wrong to fake an orgasm?
Well, I'll be honest in saying I've never done that.
I bet you've tried and it just
You
doesn't
think I've
happen.
tried to fake
I
one?
just feel like
I feel like it's more complicated for a guy to try
I
to
think
fake one.
I just think that guys will come at anything. I just think guys will orgasm at anything. They can see a blonde wig on a broom in the corner of a nightclub and just orgasm to that.
When I was a young lad, I probably could have come at anything
Yeah.
for sure. It was like if you saw a shadow that looked like it had
like a nipple.
a nipple or just like, you know, because back then we used to have to, there was a thing called the Spice Channel. Mm-hmm. Okay. And you would use the clicker you would click on the Spice Channel and for a second it would come in clear. Okay. And for that second, you had to store everything you saw into your memory to come at it later. And it was like our imaginations were better. And one time after school, I came home, used the clicker. It was clear for 5 minutes.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wait, right after school too?
Yeah.
Because that's like what, 3, 4 p.m.?
It was a screw up. Yeah. It was a
Wait,
big
what's
time screw up.
happening?
The Spice
What?
Channel came in clear for 5 minutes, and I stored enough.
So back in our time, there was this thing called TV.
Well, yeah. Well,
And you use
was
the
it
clicker.
cable? But why was it not?
It was like a channel that I assume
was
didn't have in your package.
Yeah, so back when you didn't get access to channels, the channel was still there,
It
but
was
it was
fuzzy.
fuzzy.
Oh,
It wasn't just off your guide.
Oh,
The channel was still there.
And some things had a more like clear fuzz to it where you
Okay,
could
okay.
kind of make out, and
It
some were
was-
just static.
It was
Okay,
almost like
okay.
art, you know, and every once in a while you'd see something, you're like, that could be.
You know those magic illusions where
right.
you
The
look
ones
through.
where you look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there
You
like,
cross-eye and then
3 p.m.
Yeah.
full cross-eyed looking at
Right,
the TV
right.
trying to catch what I thought was like a man and a woman having sex.
And then you go to grab your dick, and it's not where you think it is because you're
Like,
cross-eyed.
You're cross-eyed.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, wrong.
I'm
wrong
checking
way.
my buddies off.
Right. Unfortunately,
I'm jaying off
Yeah, yeah,
Tyler
yeah.
and
But
Alan.
Tyler's right next to
Yeah.
you.
You've never had to fake it though, is what?
I think
you
that's
claim.
what. Yeah, I've never had to fake it. But I will say, because there's a lot of like sort of stigma around women that fake. I think a well-placed fake to boost an ego once in a while, totally okay.
Okay.
If it's the norm,
Maybe not.
then we got to address some issues.
Yeah.
A well-placed fake can really come in handy, and it could do wonders for me. I think I've been with some women that like afterwards were nice enough to say like, wow, wow. And I didn't believe them per se, but just hearing it, I think does a lot for you.
I'm sure it does.
Because you get up out of bed and you have a different walk about you when you think you've pleased someone.
when you've mission accomplished.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well-
thank you. It's really like a sign of a person who's like kind of giving and a good person, I think.
Yeah. It's like a people pleaser. They want you to
People
think
pleaser.
that you're
Yeah.
doing a good job. So they
Yeah.
are willing to
Yeah.
perform.
I feel like my thought on it is the opposite. Just
Okay.
don't fake. make sure they know what they're doing wrong
Sure.
so we can all have a good time
Okay.
instead of
Well, I can't think of anything that would get me limp faster than you stopping me and telling me what I'm doing wrong.
I just don't think there needs to be a stopping. Hey, sorry, you're doing this wrong. It's
no,
more of
no,
a gentle.
no.
Hey, we're gonna take a timeout on the field. Yeah, so
Maybe just a
quick team huddle.
Well, I just don't think that's what happens.
I think
Maybe a gentle-
You're talking about a big overarching. Let's talk about what our likes are, so we can get on the same page in the
right.
long
I think
run.
there's also a lot of people who are too timid or shy or embarrassed to like instruct a partner of like, oh, like maybe a little less or
Right.
more or
Yeah.
to the left, to the right, like whatever it is.
Yes.
There's some people who are just like don't know how to vocalize their needs or are
Yeah.
too shy to do it.
I do
That's a
think
common
that's
thing.
I can see that, but then I can also see it where it's like, well, if you don't, and there's also the other part of like maybe they don't even know what they want,
True.
which fair. But I feel like faking it then kind of leads you into a rabbit hole of like they think they're doing it right,
Oh, okay.
and then
they'll
then
never
they
change.
continue doing that thing to other people, and if someone doesn't stop the chain reaction, that poor
That's how
person,
nuclear fission works.
Yeah, I feel bad
Chain
for that
reaction.
person.
It could be
Who
bad.
thinks they're doing so well, but has just a string of fake orgasms.
You're saying nip it in the bud early.
right? Just for their own sake.
Peel them away for a second.
I think there's probably a middle ground answer.
There's
of like
definitely. I
I don't think it's wrong to fake it, but I think if it's a situation where it's maybe a relationship or someone you're going to see multiple times,
Yes.
or like want to pursue maybe more sexual activity with in some way, like maybe at that point be vulnerable in that situation, tell them what you like, what you don't like, but also, I don't know, it's a shame to not be able to get off,
Yeah, I just
and like that's what the
yeah, that's the whole kind of thing. But I think there is a middle ground.
But
for
also,
sure.
like for you, as a lesbian,
well,
you
gonna
need-
say that, right?
he says it, but he has this disgust in his voice
for
when he
you
says
as a
that. Yeah.
lesbian, I
Right.
think it's tougher. You have so many different. You've got to like, do I go get the strap on? Do I
Okay.
which tools? You're like a
I feel like it'd be
It's
easier.
way.
but you gotta like,
Because,
well,
like,
you gotta like find.
You're
okay.
working with the same parts that you
You think
have.
so?
So like,
But then like, what setting? You know,
There's no
like
settings.
what, like how
There's no-
strong and where do I do with the
where do I
freehand?
put the clicker?
Well, the clicker,
The
right? The
clicker.
clicker. Well, the thing is that that's why I told you where like sex, like I don't know what sex is heteronormative length for sex, but
Couple
for
minutes.
for lesbians, I'm there for an hour and a half, 2 hours.
What?
Yeah,
Who has that much time in a day?
It's a long
hour and a
endeavor.
half?
Do you ever do like a little 5-minute?
Sometimes there's a break.
Oh no, I mean like
Oh, like a 5
like
minute.
it only takes 5 minutes.
There would. I don't think I've had.
Yeah, take it
sex
easy,
for 5 minutes.
Scorsese.
I don't think I've ever had sex with a woman for 5 minutes, and we're both happy with it.
Yeah, that's true.
That feels like it's impossible. Maybe one person.
Do you take a long time?
Well,
Or do you take a long time?
I think there is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think women in general do take a little longer than men.
I know that. But do you take a long time for a lesbian?
I think definitely. I don't know. He's
What's wrong with the way I say
He's
it?
confused. It's like my grandpa who's
Yeah.
like has different views
Huh?
on things. Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
It's like he's just using the word,
Yeah,
but doesn't
he doesn't
acknowledge
get
it.
it. It's not his time. What is that?
It's two.
What is that?
It's two vaginas.
Oh, right.
Oh,
okay. I thought you were doing something to your belly button.
I thought so too.
Right.
And then you
No.
just kept going. It's 2.
it's
Two vaginas.
Maybe you take a while.
I
An hour and
think-
a half. I got to tell you, that is not.
Well, there's
convenient.
multiple things happening. There's also multiple orgasms happening, not just one and
Okay.
done.
That's
Do you
the
think
thing.
you could be
Yeah.
okay with like 30 minutes?
30
like how
minutes
we're
is
treating this like a
probably
negotiation.
fine. I mean, 30 minutes
Just
is
wait.
fine. A
No
little
wonder
much.
you don't do anything.
What do you mean? What do you
just, like,
mean? What do I
after
not do?
8 o'clock, her phone's on Do Not Disturb, and
No,
it's
10.
game
It's
over.
It's 10 p.m. But there are times where it's late, like, you know, you have to kind of schedule it because, like, if I'm starting to have sex at midnight, I'm there until, like, I'm not going to go to bed until 2.
That's
Wow.
that's unreal.
It's unreal, but it's true.
When do you drink
I'm
water?
surprised more people aren't in a lesbian relationship, to be honest.
Fair.
That's a lot.
It's fun. It's a lot better.
And the whole time it's pure ecstasy.
It's just it's fun. It's a fun time. It's also everyone's kind of happy at the end.
My girlfriend's happy.
No, I'm not saying. I'm not denying that.
And we're done much sooner than 2.5 hours.
And that's awesome.
I
And
think
then
as
we're
long
watching
as
TV after.
both people are happy, that's all that matters.
We can have sex and then watch 2 episodes of TV by the time you're even like done
Yeah.
with
and
your
maybe
first
go on
intermission.
like 30 minutes of TikTok too. Like think of all the things you could get done.
TikTok, man.
It's fine. It's fine. I mean, I'm not. I don't think it's a problem.
That's a lot of work. Imagine if you were going to the gym.
I mean,
Spend
she
any of that
basically
energy
is.
going to the gym.
What do you mean? Well, it's like it's nighttime, so I'm not gonna
Producing
be at
our
the
podcast.
But also that is a workout.
It is a workout. Oh, for sure.
2 hours?
It's a long time.
A lot of heavy breathing.
Heavy breathing. What?
I mean, how
What
much
is that?
How
What
much
is
of an
that?
exercise is it really?
It's a lot.
For those of you who aren't watching the video
My
version of this
arm.
podcast,
You gotta watch
Kassem
the
just
video version.
Put 2 fingers up and just slid them back and
Right,
forth at a
because
very
this is
slow
how he
pace.
fingers.
Or is it a stimulation thing?
What is this? Tell me.
Let's
What
go
is-
on it.
Like
Let's have him. This could do. These 2 guys right here can do just about
right,
anything.
Right.
So, but in that
What's
example,
this? He also crossed his fingers
like 2 little legs.
Like 2 little legs crossed.
They look bored.
because then you
Yeah.
can make promises and you don't have to keep them.
right.
Wall
I think,
finger.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think right.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, no, I don't. I think
All right.
I think I have the best sex in the world. So
And then, so faking it or not.
so
Prove it.
whatever.
Do
Yeah, I
whatever
don't
is
think
right
so.
for you.
You have the longest sex in the world.
And it's great.
I don't know.
We would not recommend needing to fake it though. You should
I
be
would
with a partner
say,
you can
yeah,
talk to.
I
If your
would
partner's
say-
had a bad day and you're not getting there and you don't think you'll get there and you don't have 2.5, 3 hours, right? It's towards the end of The Departed and like
It's like-
Leo's dead and and you still haven't gotten off. Maybe you fake it. Maybe you just take care of your partner.
It's kind of like a little white lie, you know? When
not
it's like
gonna hurt anyone.
not going to hurt anyone, it's just going to make someone happy, you know? Once in a while situation. I agree with you.
It's,
really like that
I
jacket.
know it's okay.
It's okay.
Don't have that kind of time.
Yeah.
We have officially reached the point in the summer where you pretty much need sunglasses every time you go outside. But it seems like my sunglasses are always getting stuck in my hair, and if I try to put my sunglasses on my head, I wind up with a tangled mess and maybe even a chunk of my hair missing when I go to take them out. It's not pretty. Well, thankfully, our friends at Shady Rays have a new tangle-free aviator that has a patent-pending nose piece that they designed specifically to avoid tangling. I just went to the pool this past weekend and I had my tangle-free aviators with me. And even with wet hair, it did not get tangled. And for anyone who has long hair, they know the struggle of having beach or pool hair and trying to get your sunglasses from the top of your head onto your face. It's always a mess, and these did not get tangled at all. And they were beautiful and stylish and durable as well, to boot. Plus, Shady Rays offers the most insane protection. If you lose or break your sunglasses even on day 1, they will send you a brand new pair with no questions asked. So just head to shadyrays.com/tanglefree and use the code OPEN for 30% off their best-selling tangle-free aviators and much more. All right, well, let's get into some of our user questions.
Yeah,
Okay.
please.
These are some people looking for some help. If you want to write into the show, you absolutely can. You could email us at alwaysopen@roosterteeth.com. If you have a question for us, we would love to hear from you. Should I ask out my coworker who is 10 years older than me? I'm 24 and I've recently developed a crush on a coworker. We've only started hanging out outside of work recently and gradually became friends, but I could feel tension building between us. I don't usually agree with dating coworkers. However, I already know this job is temporary, so these circumstances won't be permanent. They also work at the same level as me, so they don't have a managerial role, so there's no conflict of interest in that regard. Whilst they are significantly older, we share some of the same key values, and they are at a similar place in their life to me, just trying to figure out what to do. And our common interests do make us compatible on paper. Although I seem confident in asking them out, and I'm fully accepting that they could say no, which I totally respect, should I still take the risk and ask them out knowing that we work together and the age gap?
Well,
I've dated 10 years older.
Than you.
Yes.
Okay.
Clearly, it didn't work in the long run, but that was because I was a psycho. I didn't have really
Was?
much to do.
Yeah.
Was, dude.
Was
The problem when you date older, you got to always think of it like this. You've got to be into, like, you've got to like banana bread. You know what I mean? Because you buy a bushel of bananas, some people are just going to eat the bananas fresh or when they're yellow, and that's fine. But some people want those bananas to rot before they could really use those bananas.
Do you understand the...
no,
You've got to be buying bananas for banana bread. In order to do that, they've got to be old bananas, and some people really like banana bread.
Oh, they like older people. Is that what you're trying to say? Okay.
And it's a flavor, it's a thing, you know?
Because I like banana bread, but...
Do you like bananas or banana bread more?
I probably eat bananas more because it's
There you
for
go.
my health.
easier.
Yeah. And your boyfriend's probably not that much older than you.
He's actually younger
He's
than me.
young.
So you like your bananas green. And you can't get
green.
too you
I
can't
know.
make your bananas can't be too green, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
no, I would
right.
agree.
Good,
But the woman you dated, her bananas were
At the time I was really into banana bread, and so I wanted my bananas brown
And
and,
she liked
older. And it was here's the thing, you have to know that at some point you're going to wake up and that person's going to look
They're just gonna look old. Oh, I think that's the case for all human beings.
No.
If you're lucky.
not me.
not
I'm
you.
working on some stuff. I'm working on some age stuff.
He's got blood boys.
Yeah.
He's got those blood boys.
It's
What's a blood boy?
Yeah.
Those are the boys that
I got a couple guys I keep around.
billionaires use their blood to keep them young. Blood boys. I'm gonna say Jeff
They use
Bezos.
like young boys' blood.
I'm gonna say Jeff Bezos has blood boys.
I mean, he doesn't look young though.
Bezos
Elon-
blood boys are like among the best blood boys.
Best blood boys.
The
And
Bezos
then
blood boys.
Cream Team
And
Stream
then-
Dream Stream Team.
The Cream Team, Dream Stream,
Yeah.
Blood Boys. And then, just a bunch of billionaires for sure. Bill Gates for sure has a blood boy.
Oh.
So are they drinking
For
it
sure.
or are they injecting
No,
it?
they're injecting the blood, the young blood into
Transfusions.
them.
Oh,
Yeah.
transfusions. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of like a rich guy thing, and I wouldn't expect you guys to understand it, but it is. We just have access to certain things that you guys don't. And
Right.
but I will tell you this: if you've looked at Tom Cruise recently, he is getting older.
Tom Cruise definitely blood boy.
But there's a blood boy involved there.
But they will get older, and it's not a sure thing yet, but we are working on it. I think if I'm going to give you a real answer here, don't touch me. Okay. It is okay to date people that are older.
Yes.
If you are, because you fall in love with who the person is, and physically we're all going to degrade and look like.
And here we're also talking 24 and 34.
That's okay. So that's also where I come in and talk about.
Is the woman 34 or is the man?
No,
34?
the man's 34.
Or is it a same sex?
Or is it same?
I
Are they
actually
the ones
don't know if they have specified.
Oh,
okay.
I just okay. So
And I'll just say this one
assumed
thing, and I'm
wrong.
going to pass it off to you.
Right.
These they.
You just have to be on the same page about children, whether you want them or not, because the age at 10 years, that's a conversation one person needs to have, and maybe the other person hasn't
Right.
even thought about
Right.
it yet.
Well, I bet not. Al Pacino. Definitely.
Yeah, that guy's.
That guy's sperm is just unreal.
He's 80.
He's 84.
Oof, and
or
he just had
something?
another kid.
He was 84 like during Heat. I think he's 102.
Well, it's because men are just always making sperm.
we
yeah,
do
but
it.
there's at a point where it's like not working.
Yeah.
It's not
Shooting
working.
blanks.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's like dust.
crazy. Yeah, I'm gonna say I obviously unfortunately assumed it as woman's 24, man's 34, and there's a 10-year age gap. I'm gonna say at 24, a 10-year age gap is pretty significant. I'm gonna say that of course there's times where you can both be on the same page, but I just remember 2 years ago when I was 24, I am completely
Oh my
different.
God. You were so annoying.
I
and
mean,
so
right?
Stupid.
Like I
Oh, no.
just was.
You were so stupid.
Before, like,
What? We got
22
it.
to 24 is just such a dumb time.
20, like literally, like 24. I have made so many mistakes that I'm look back and I'm like, wow, I'm so glad that happened. So I don't do that again.
So I could learn from that.
I
Yeah.
learn, and so to me, I'm like 24. And when you're 34, you've already gone through that. You've had your. What are you talking about?
I'm about to be 34.
No, you're not.
Yeah. Or I will be 34 when this comes out. Yeah.
And your boyfriend's 20.
He's a year and a half younger than me, so he'll
Wait,
still
Barbara,
be.
I
Whoa.
swear to God, I thought you were turning 30.
Thank you.
You're never gonna age.
Okay.
I hope not.
You're
I got my
never
blood
gonna
boy.
age. You have your blood boy, but
blood
like
girl.
you're never gonna
You're
age.
34.
34.
Would you date a 24-year-old if you were?
No,
I wouldn't date a 24-year-old either.
but I guess
Because
it's
they're freaking crazy.
yeah, and they're just at a different point in their life.
Their frontal lobes aren't even formed yet.
But I will say the person who wrote this question did say that they feel like there's tension and they connect on like a deeper level and they have a lot of the similar interests.
She thinks that. The 34-year-old is just in it physically. I'll bet you.
You think so?
I
I wouldn't necessarily.
The 24-year-old skin is taut.
Right,
And it's
I-
smooth. And that's what we think about when we're in our 30s. We don't go, there's the next person I'm going to...
I do have a lot of young people that say your skin is so taut.
So taut, I would like to see it stretched out over a lampshade.
You've got to stop.
Okay.
What the fuck are you saying?
I think the lampshade part is probably too...
You guys are doing a great job.
too
I enjoy it.
Okay, let's delete that.
Yeah, that's
Can you forget I said that?
24
24.
and 34 is a big age gap.
age
Yeah,
gap.
very
Big
taut.
And taut and not well, yeah. So don't bring that back.
Don't.
It's good.
What are you saying?
What did you say?
What the frick?
What was that?
That you should be taught a lesson.
Oh.
I'm gonna say when I was 23, 24.
Yeah.
You say it like it's so long ago.
What?
This was like
feels
last
long.
summer.
It feels long.
She
This
also
was
has
last
lived,
summer.
She's lived less of a life, so 2 years to her
2 years
is a
is
big big
big.
portion compared to 2 years for you and me.
We're all gonna die soon. It doesn't
2
matter.
years
The
is big
aliens
for
are
me.
coming
2
back.
years, I was so different, Cass. Do you remember me 2 years ago?
I know that you
Do you know what I
were a
went through for
child
2
then, and
years?
you're like a kid now. to me.
Okay.
Nothing's changed.
Right. I just feel like when I was 24, 23, I was hooking up with someone who was maybe 30.
Okay.
And that was,
you said
to
20.
me, that was a big age gap.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, this is like.
I mean, you're at very different points in your life.
Right.
you know?
Because I'm like, yeah, that's a big age gap. So I can imagine 10 years.
But the thing is like, there's going to be compromise on both sides if you go forward and ask this person out, which, again, like, we could get to that judgment call at the end of this, but
Yeah.
I think you have to understand you're 24, you're going to be wanting to experience certain things in life. You're going to want to, I don't know if you're into, like, going out, partying, making friends, meeting people, traveling. Whereas this person who's in their 30s might be looking to settle down, maybe have kids, as you guys mentioned.
Yeah.
Might not be in the same place where they want to be as adventurous or
Yeah.
things of that nature that might be important to you. Again, I'm assuming.
Yeah, this is a lot of assumptions. I do think that it is possible. I'm not going to completely be like, that's wrong. I think it is possible, but I do think maybe it's like just feel it out and also take your time. Don't feel rushed into anything. You're not on a time limit here. You can take your time and see how it feels for you.
You also could like hang out and hook up. You don't have to necessarily like
Yeah.
become boyfriend and girlfriend.
You don't. I bet you that's what the 34-year-old is more looking for.
Could
And
be.
if you want to find out, you ask him about kids
Ask them.
because that shows that you're
Right,
serious
right.
Yeah.
and you want to see this
But
through,
okay,
and
Cass,
that'll
wait,
let
I
you know
want to
right
ask
away.
then. I want to ask then. If
Okay.
this was, because they didn't really
Okay.
gender who is who. So if it was 2 women, though, what do you think?
Oh, then I don't know. The biological clock thing, and they can still have biological babies.
Right.
I think that's still you still want to
But there
broach
are,
that.
but I think you're right that there is still a like, are you looking to settle down family at 34 where it's like you've been through the craziness of a 24?
yeah,
So it's like or like you're trying to buy a house,
right.
24.
34-year-olds thinking about a lot of stuff.
Right, yeah. Okay, I can
and their
see
skin
that.
isn't as taut, and things are starting to slow down, and they're gaining a little weight. And
Right, listen. These are all
Barbara,
true
I will
things.
tell you right now, you are not. You literally look the same as you looked the moment I met you. So I don't know what's
This
going.
is
I don't know what
you.
blood boy you
she's
have.
gaming you right now.
Me?
Yeah, you're hitting on her. I can tell.
I'm using Cruz as blood boy.
It's the Cruise Blood
Yeah,
Boy.
he used it for Top Gun Maverick, and then
I am so happy that he's starting to look old. I saw him on the red carpet for Mission Impossible, and I'm like, yes! I saw him, and I was like, yes, he's looking old. Because if there was a secret to staying younger,
yeah, then
like
you
a
want
real
it too.
secret, he would have it.
Yes.
And he's aging. And that means no one's figured it out yet. But there is a guy, and he's aging like 0.75 years for everyone else's 1 year. Have you seen this guy?
No.
He's doing all kinds of stuff. He's doing the cold baths. He's taking the vitamins every morning. He's like, but he's spending $2 million a year just on staying younger.
Vitamins.
Yeah,
vitamins.
so the guy, they already said the first person to live to 150 years old's already been born.
I've heard that too. I heard it might even be someone who could live to 200.
My
Has already been
God.
born, which to me feels like too many years.
That's a whole lot. You know,
200.
ages 170 to 200 are going to be in some sort of hover wheelchair. You're going to
If
have to be
that.
force fed your food, like maybe tube. It's not going to be a good last 30 years. Yeah.
200.
Camelback with like a special little baby food mix that you have
yeah.
to suck
Oh,
on.
no, it just probably just goes straight into your there's probably technology there where you don't even have to physically do anything.
You just push a button and you just shit.
You are now nourished.
Yeah.
See you again at 7,
Whoa.
Mrs. Cartwright.
You're
Thank you.
hired.
Yes. See,
You
I
do
do
the
the voice
voice.
of the robot that
Are you the
feeds
food lady voice?
Yeah, dude.
She's a voice actress.
I know it.
Oh, okay.
He knows everything
So
about
am
me.
I. I was in How to Train Your Dragon.
It's pretty good.
Pretty good, right?
You know she does a really good Bart?
Yeah, I know. It's the only impression she does. Go ahead, do your Bart.
No, I do
Go
good
ahead, say,
as
don't have a
you.
cow, man.
That's not what I say.
It's really good.
She says, eat my shorts.
Oh, yeah, go there, eat my shorts. Say it.
No, I'm not gonna say it.
Don't,
I said
because
it
then
last.
they're gonna
I
thumbs
said,
down
no,
the
I said it.
pod.
I said it the other pod.
We had when we had her on Always Open earlier this season.
Can I get a eat my shorts?
Hold on, I haven't done it in a while.
She always
gotta
she
warm
always
up.
has got to take a second.
I do. I have to swallow.
Okay, swallow. Here it comes.
Eat my shorts.
Yes,
It's
there we
so
go.
good. It's
Very
so
good.
That's it. Thanks, guys,
Thank
for hyping
you.
me up.
Every time you do it, I'm always impressed.
Every little boy.
All right, let's move on to our next
Yeah, let's
question.
move on. What'd we say? Stay.
Oh, yeah. Should they ask them out?
Ask about kids.
Yeah, ask them out. Ask them about kids. No, I say ask them out, but I would if you're the 24-year-old, I'm assuming you're the 24-year-old.
Yes, the person who wrote it is 24.
If you're the 24-year-old, take it slow and also like chill. It's cool. Everything's chill. Not a
Also,
big deal.
A lot of people date their coworkers nowadays.
It's everyone
We have
does.
our actually this when you were reading it, it reminded me of not to put him on blast, but our writer at G4, Case Blackwell, I'm saying his whole name. Case literally met someone who I'm gonna say is 10 years younger than him.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Yeah. Kendall's like 27?
Okay.
Maybe like a little younger than
They did
10.
try, and I feel
Okay.
like they kept it a secret, but I'm glad
No, it's out.
you outed them. Yeah.
I mean, it's
so.
out.
Again, though, early 20s versus late 20s, totally
Totally
different.
different.
Fine.
Yeah,
You're
but-
both idiots.
But that was definitely similar to what this was. They were coworkers. They hung out outside, and then they started developing something. And they're still together now, and it worked out. So
if you're in a position of power, okay.
no, and they were not in a
if you're
position
if
of
you
power.
Neither of
are a
these people
boss
are.
and you're making
They weren't. They're not in
over $200K a year, not worth it. I will tell you that. Your
Well,
career
from the
comes
sounds of
first.
it, they're on equal playing ground, and
Yeah.
this doesn't seem like a permanent kind of job.
I think it's fine.
So I would say go for it.
Yeah.
But do be cautious.
Doobie do.
doobie
Do. Be
Doobie-doobie-doo.
optimistic or
Okay.
cautious, too,
Yeah.
about the things we said.
Yeah.
But good luck. Let us
Remember,
know how it goes.
banana bread. Some of you are into it.
Greener or
Greener.
brown banana.
Stay away from the
Brown.
green bananas.
All right, well, this last question we have for today. What do you do when it feels like no one wants a serious relationship with you? I'm a bisexual female, 25 years old, and have been single my entire life. I've gone on dates, but it's rare, and having sex is nice and all, but I crave companionship and wanting to be loved back for once. I tend to have bad luck when it comes to people wanting me. It seems like everyone I have ever liked and thought it could work out with ends up choosing someone else over me. Even my friends with benefits / situationship that I had for 3 years still didn't want me in the end. And that broke me. It feels like no one wants me and that there's something wrong with me. I'm very introverted and tend to only meet people through work. Even dating apps aren't that great since it's mainly people looking for hookups. It also doesn't help that I live in an area that doesn't have a big queer population, and I'm about to move closer to where I work, which is in an area that doesn't have much to do besides drinking. Please help.
I can definitely
This
help.
is you.
This is me.
Because these are the women you date.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Is this a woman?
Yeah,
Or-
she's a
bisexual female.
Female.
Okay. I don't know.
Yeah.
25.
I can't say female anymore. This is exactly who is the type
That
of
was-
person you.
Well, that was my issue. The exact same thing.
Like you could have written this kind of thing.
yeah, essentially. Well, maybe not the part where they're in a place where it's like not.
Yeah,
because
you're here in LA, which
right.
is
But like that was the same thing. What would happen is even like down to the situationship, like even it always felt like I was letting these people. I was just attracting these certain people that were not looking for more than. And you know, at a point there was a point where I was like, and you see the growth from like when you met me at 24 to now.
yeah.
huge growth.
A huge
The
growth.
most, yeah.
Huge growth where like
Less
at
taught.
20 at 24
You were
I was
a
doing
white
that.
man when I met you.
Right. And so what happened was every time I was dating, I kind of was pointing at like they're the problem. Like I'm so unlucky. I can't find the right person. But slowly dating and realizing that it was mainly actually my fault because I wasn't setting the boundaries that I needed to set. I wasn't looking at the right people. I was going after people who were emotionally unavailable, which then meant that like
Because your antenna's bent. And it's going to, you
Right.
know, your wires are crossed. and you're going to be attracted to things
so
that
I
are.
so I was attracted to people that like subconsciously I was like they weren't good for me.
Right.
And it was all self-sabotaging at the end of the day. So I'm not saying when I hear that and when I see someone write that down, my initial thought is like, I can totally feel for you. I feel like you definitely think it's outside of you
Right.
and you're unlucky and that the choices, you're making the right choices, but you're given bad results.
Yeah, it seems like she just
Right.
wants to be loved back. Essentially.
I do think that there might be a way to look inside yourself and look at the actions you've taken
or not taken.
or not taken and see if there's a way to change that so you can attract and make sure that the people you have enter your life have the same thought process and the same wants and needs that you would want and need.
This is the smartest thing you've ever said.
Thank you.
it's very.
And it came from it came from inside. It came from experience.
It did. There was I felt that like everything she said. It made
And I'm going to say
sense.
everything you just said, but worse.
Right.
Listen, person who wrote in. Right now, you don't know this about yourself, but you have a stink about you. And people see it and they smell it on you, and it's a little bit of desperation, and it's a little bit of like, you know, you got to plug your umbilical cord into something, you know, and people see that and they go, oh, like I don't want to. They see it, and even though you might clean yourself up real nice, wear nice clothes, maybe your hair is fine, but there is a subconscious stink about you. And everyone, and those pheromones they hit and they go, ooh, got to stay away from this girl. She's still got a lot of baking to do. She's doughy in the middle. She's not
even close
fully
to banana
formed.
bread.
She is not even close to being a banana bread. She's not even a green banana. She's like a plantain that's still budding. This is something
Right.
that you 100%, when you are in your groove, you do just a little bit of therapy, and you have some like stuff that's a mirror that's shown back, and you're like, oh, I didn't know I had a habit of this. I do these things, and maybe I'm looking at this when I should be looking at this. Once you iron out a couple of those things, people will notice, and it's subconscious, and that stink goes away, and that stink becomes something like a perfume, and it starts attracting, in essence, it starts attracting the right people to you.
You know, I wasn't with you at first.
I'm telling you, because I told her she
understand.
was stinky.
Yeah, maybe that's-
But there is a little bit of reality. Like I said, I'm going to say what you said, but worse.
Yeah.
It is something you can see, and sometimes it's just people. I mean, it's just like the way you carry yourself through life is you think is like, I'm just a normal person. I think maybe I'm a little quiet. No. There is the way you sit in your chair, the way you start a conversation, the way you enter a room. Those are all things that you're doing that you never even think about, and people go, ugh. You walk into a room and people go, no way. And
well,
then once you do a little bit of therapy, once you do a little bit of therapy, well, Carrie in, you straighten up, you walk in, and people go, oh, whoa, did you do something with your hair? You're like, no, I've been doing therapy. Things are good for me.
They're like, you smell good.
You're smelling good. You used to stink.
And I see, right. And I think you're on to something.
Thank you.
I do want to say, I just like was thinking back on it. Even her saying that she's had a situationship for 3 years,
Right.
is exactly the thing I'm talking about. Is like
That's not a good boundary to have on yourself.
What is a
that's a bad
situationship?
bound. Because to me, if you're someone who's looking for
Friends
love,
with benefits.
friends with benefits, yeah. If you're looking for love, if you're looking to settle down, if you're looking, then you wouldn't even entertain the idea of someone who's not giving you what you want or what you need. So to me, that's already, I don't know exactly what she does, but already that was a kind of something to note of like,
Definitely.
yeah, that's a boundary issue. Situationships.
I think something that happens too is not even in just situations like this, but just in life in general. It's like the more you want something and don't get it, the more you focus on the fact that you're not getting it, and you like might overcompensate in certain ways just to try to like make it happen. And so you might
stink.
Exactly. You might subconsciously be putting this pressure on people or acting a certain way or speaking a certain way that might throw people off. Not necessarily that they're not looking for a relationship, but just like some people get a little reactive if someone comes on a little too strong at the beginning. Or
100%.
So I would say, like, if I were in your shoes, just kind of go with the flow. You know, try to meet people. Try the dating apps. You might find someone who's looking for more than just a hookup, because those people definitely exist. It's just a matter of like finding that person.
And it's going to take trial and error. And as
Absolutely.
she said that she hasn't been dating. Or like she just started dating.
She's been single her whole life. She's gone on dates.
Single so single her whole life.
And like she's gone on dates. She's had sex.
Yeah.
So like I think it's more like hasn't had a relationship.
Yeah, a real relationship. And that's also like being in a relationship. That's also a very big learning curve too. Because you're not gonna get into that relationship and it's gonna be perfect. It's not. It's gonna be a whole learning process too. Especially if you haven't been in one.
Absolutely.
You guys ever had a person, you worked in an office environment, and then there was always that person you never thought about in any other way except they just sit there and that's their job. And they don't, and I see them come into work, they have a fucking thermos and they have the same bag. And then one day that person comes into the office and you're like, look at this. Okay. This is cute. And me and you used to do this. Okay?
Each other?
No, we'd notice people.
We'd notice people.
We'd be like, did you see?
Yeah, that's true.
And you'd be like, yeah, is she hot? And we're like, I don't know. But like all of a sudden, it's a little
Definitely
tweak.
more so than usual.
It's a little tweak and it's just a little something. And I'm telling you, that person lost the stink.
There is something to be said for confidence. And I know it sounds very cliche, but when you have confidence, you become more attractive to people.
100%.
You're right. And that's exactly, you just said what I've been trying to
said
say.
than done.
You just said what I've been trying to say. It's just confidence. What the act as if the confidence is really tough to get, especially 100%. When you have, everyone has all these insecurities. And so you have to like learn how to be, talk about gratitude, like fixating on something you don't have and starting to think about the stuff you do have. Like, and that's part of building your confidence. And when you start walking in, and you also can go too far with it, because sometimes people walk into the office, you go like, who do you think you are?
Right.
And so you want to find the middle ground.
Confidence.
Yes. And so there is a little bit of like, when you see like really heavy guys, but they're like, they don't look that heavy because they're wearing the shirt that fits.
I think
like,
that goes for every body type.
Right.
Like when you wear something that fits, you
like,
look good.
you look great, And even though maybe you can't wear, like, this is a terrible example, but like what you own what you have. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And that's all that matters.
Because that's what you got.
Yes,
You
it's
gotta
what
work
you
with
have.
what you got.
And it doesn't matter what body type you are. You just own what you have. You wear the shirt that fit. You don't want to wear the belly shirt.
No.
And you don't want to wear the one that hangs down to your knees. But you
Right.
just wear the shirt that fits, and you'll be surprised at what happens when people start turning their head when you walk into the office. And they stop worrying about like, oh my God, he has a beige thermos he walked in. Then they go, oh wow, look at this. Like,
Right.
is he hot? That's
Right,
the
yeah,
conversations
yeah,
people
yeah.
should be having
Yeah.
about you.
I get you.
No, I get.
Am I the worst guest that's been on this show?
absolutely
It's
not.
just
You're
the
fantastic.
way you. It's so funny to watch you explain something.
Is it bad?
It's not that it's bad. It's just.
Wait, am I bad?
No, you're not bad. It's just so funny to see how your mind works.
Yeah, because
That's my favorite part of the show.
I'm a flawed, and by the way, I don't sit here as one of those people. Do you know what I
Right,
mean?
yeah.
I am.
You acknowledge.
I only speak
have
from
some stink on you.
experience. I am
the
so
stink is-
stinky.
No.
But like
Right.
my stink now is way better
Yes.
than it used to be.
It
Jim.
was. Yeah,
And,
it is.
And so all this comes from like I'm one of you.
Yeah.
I am you, the one that just sent that email.
The
I am
bisexual
not sitting
25-year-old
here.
female.
Sure,
On
I
your
may
high
have
horse.
a nice house and like a beautiful girlfriend and a ton of money and a like super nice car, like a family that loves me and friends that love me. I might have all that, but I am essentially that
Yeah.
person that's sending the email. Like I don't know if I should ask them out or if I'm in these situations. I am that person. So when I'm telling you, might be more blunt. And that's why you should be talking to a therapist, because the therapist is going to essentially be a lot nicer about all this and help
Hopefully.
you find it out. I'm just going to be the one that tell you have a stink.
Yeah.
And then it's going to be tough to hear, but one day you'll email back. We'll still be doing this pod and you'll be like, he was right.
If they do email back, we'll have to get you back on the show for a follow
Right.
up.
Please. I need the
Can I
work.
tell you a story about?
Please.
This goes into Kassem explaining things. I was going through a really tough time in the beginning of the year in January.
This is going to make me look like a
no,
monster.
no. But it leads into like the way you say things.
Okay. Yeah, help them understand me a little bit, because I'm sure people are listening or watching this and they're like, who is this guy?
Okay, so what happened was I was going through something, and I called Kassem. Which was insane.
What a hell of a time you were having.
Right. Oh, and I thought it was just, thinking maybe he's the older brother that can maybe comfort me in this time.
Thank you.
Right. So I call. And long story short, he essentially says, like, dude, you're gotta get over this. Like, it's been months. You're never gonna hear from her back. It's
Had it
done.
been months at that point?
It's been months.
Okay.
And then he's like, it's been months. You're done. But like, to be fair, I've also like,
It was a lot of like, I don't.
yeah.
I still, and I get it.
Right.
It was a lot of
But
like,
the way he said it was like the most like, hey, you gotta.
Just
we're done.
kinda
We're
snapped
done.
you out of it?
We're done. Well, he snapped me, and I'm like, whew, okay, that was a lot to take in.
Yeah.
I start crying in my room, and I decide, you know what? He's right. Something's wrong with me. I gotta figure it out. I'm gonna take 3.5 grams of shrooms. And I'm going to go through a journey to understand how I'm feeling. So I give him my location and I say, hey, I'm going to do this many shrooms. And
This many
just reach out to me if you don't hear from me in 5 hours.
Yeah.
He's like, got it.
5
I take
hours is
shroom-
not a lot of time.
Well, I say, like, if I don't reach out in 5 hours, maybe call me,
Gotcha.
reach out to me. So I take it. I go through a whole thing. An hour into it, I get a text from him saying, like, hey, have you heard of this dance called crimping? So I'm like,
I sent the video too.
I'm high. He's sending me the video.
You're tripping.
I'm full blown, like, I'm going through a hero journey here.
I'm surprised you're able to look at your phone.
I mean, I looked at it because I felt like I was going in a
supposed to go
down.
outside.
No, I was in
the
my
hills.
home. I had my journal. It was like a very opening experience. It was me like having my journal, writing down my thoughts, thinking about
Sure.
things, and like just being introspective.
Oh, I didn't know
He get
that's
a text.
what you were doing.
Okay, he gets a text. I get a text. Do you know what crimping is? And anyone at home, if you want to watch what crimping is, imagine that, and I'm tripping. It's like the weirdest dance
you
ever.
went to go watch it?
I went to watch it. Well, he sent me a video, so I looked at it
send her
and
a
I
video.
said, "Stop." And then
I said, I feel like you'd be good at this.
actually, no, I ignored it. I ignored it. I
said.
saw it and I ignored
I said, I
it.
feel like you'd be good at crimping.
30 minutes
sent the
pass.
video.
30 minutes pass, and he sends me a text saying, would you have any interest in knowing about an asteroid that's about to end our civ? He sends me
is
that.
wrong with
He sends
you?
me that. And I said, I was like, at first I'm like, he's joking.
Yeah.
But obviously when you're on shrooms, you start like, why? No, he's serious. I go on Twitter Explore to make sure that
That's not
it's
trending.
not true. And he's like, I'm sending you coordinates. He sends me random ass coordinates.
Well, I sent her coordinates to a bunker
to
in
a
Idaho.
bunker in Idaho, and then he says, I'm coming for you. Get ready. Okay.
You're gonna pick
Anyways.
her up and drive her to Idaho?
To Idaho
Okay.
with the coordinates because there's an asteroid about to end our civ.
Absolutely.
Right. So, anyways, I'm ignoring the phone now. I
Yeah.
go through the trip. I go through everything. I'm now more calm. I'm sitting down. I decide to call him. And then you know what? This was the time when he was the big brother I needed. He was like, "Hey, how you feeling?" Hey,
After
how
all
you
that.
feeling? I was
Okay,
like,
this is how it comes back to how I.
Right. Well, at the end of
helped you.
he was like, "Hey, how you feeling?" And then I was like, we were laughing about the asteroid hitting
Yeah.
the civ, and then he was like, life's like, he just gave me like some great life advice, being like, "Hey, it's gonna be okay. You'll be fine."
There you go.
Exactly.
I
But
have
the
my
fact-
backwards way of doing
But
things.
the fact
around.
that he sent me into a spiral.
Well, the fact that he did that while he knew you were tripping,
I know.
is like the
Well,
evil
yeah.
part.
It's insane.
Yes, because I know that one little plant a seed like that while you're tripping, it could send you far, far away.
This
And you
poor
get your
woman
money's worth.
who's going through like a bad
Right.
ending of a
Yeah,
relationship.
and then she stopped thinking about her relationship and started thinking
That's what
about
she was
her
doing.
own mortality, which I think is kind of what we all need sometimes. I'm glad to just be alive.
I am too, and I feel like aging is a privilege.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For men.
So that was that. Essentially, I just wanted to say that story to explain to you and to the viewers that he's got good intentions.
I've got good intentions, and I might be slightly on a spectrum, and then the things I say
Right.
come out and they sound terrible and bad.
You're doing your
but then
impression
when
again,
you
aren't
really take a second and you think about it, you go, "There's something that guy knows what he's doing."
That guy actually has some good advice.
Wow, that guy really knows what he's doing.
Your eyebrows entertain me
So
so
eyebrows. It's
They
the
just
eyebrows.
move. They're like Amelia Clark's
Anyways.
eyebrows.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
we
yeah.
had fun here
Clerks,
today,
yeah.
didn't
Oh.
Yeah, well, thank you guys so much for being on the show with us today.
Thanks for
Fiona
having
and
us.
Kassem.
I can't wait to come back. if I'll be allowed back after the things
Absolutely.
that happened that took place here today. Couple corrections. Couple things I want to clear up.
Yeah, this is the right
I think
con.
it's Matt Damon that dies in The Departed, and
I've been thinking about that the whole
Right.
time.
Yeah.
That was the first question of the show.
and I'm sorry if I was insensitive.
No.
And we're just doing our best. And if you like our vibe and you like what we do it every week in a worse produced way.
Well, tell people about your podcast and where to find it.
Every Friday. Well, I'm not going to say a date. We do a podcast every week.
Yeah.
And it's up on YouTube called the Cream Team Dream Stream. And then we also stream on Twitch almost every day. So find
And what's
us
that
there.
Twitch channel?
Kassem G.
What's the
And Fiona.
And Fiona.
Fiona Nova?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you like co-stream or do you have like
No.
a
No way in
Creamies-
hell.
No way in hell.
No
would
way
I
in hell.
co-stream with
She
this
builds
fucking
furniture
loony.
and talks about
Do you have
relationships.
a Creamies Twitch channel?
No.
No, we have
I don't know why I said
no, we
Creamies.
have Twitter.
Okay.
We have a Discord.
The Discord, the cream.team.
The Cream.team.
Cream.team. Okay, cool.
It's a wonderful community of great folks that are probably in the comments and watching
Yeah, they're
this
going
right
to
now.
support this. Like,
So supportive.
great.
I-
They're gonna
I-
support this podcast.
I imagine the community
Amazing.
y'all have built will be very supportive and wonderful.
Right, you can imagine.
As will the Always Open audience, right, guys?
Yes.
Go check them out. Go give them a follow. Go listen to their podcast.
Thank you.
And also social handles. Where can people find you guys on social? Instagram. wherever
I'm spreading misinformation on TikTok, Kassem G, and I'm on Twitter, Kassem G.
Perfect.
Same thing. Just
Kassem
Fiona
G.
Nova, Kassem G. Just Fiona Nova on all the accounts.
Fantastic.
Except Instagram's there's an underscore.
They'll find you.
They'll find.
Well, thank you both for being here.
Thanks, Barbara.
Appreciate you guys being on.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for watching this episode of Always Open. We are so appreciative that you're here. Tell a friend about the show. Tell a friend about the All Good No Worries YouTube channel. And we'll see you next Tuesday for another episode.